you want to make a custom faction for DUWS_X version 3.01, right? First, of course, make sure you're subscribed to the mod, right, or the scenario. Make sure you subscribe to it on the workshop. Boom, you have the files, right? The next thing is you're gonna want to have PBO Manager. So yeah, what you're gonna want to do is get PBO Manager, which I'll have a link in the description to, all that stuff, or the comment down below. Once you have it downloaded, you want to open it up. You should be able to find your mission.pbo somewhere from your download, right? So you can click it, open it, boom, this is what you're gonna have. So what you're gonna want to do next would be to highlight all of these, and my suggestion to you is to create a new folder, right? And you could put DUWS_X_V 3.01, maybe do like PBO files extracted, you know, just to keep it simple and everything like that, right? So you go here, you want to take everything in here, all of this stuff that I just highlighted, make sure you have that all highlighted. You can extract to your file, right? Find it on the list wherever it may be. I suggest just doing it on the desktop to keep it simple. Alright, boom, you're gonna extract all of it there. Boom, now it's here, right? Have everything here, and it's no longer in a PBO file. This is where I had messed up originally. I didn't extract all of these when I made it originally, so I couldn't get my faction in the game because it needs to be extracted from a PBO. It needs to, okay? That is number one what you need to do. Then you want to go to factions, modern, and if you're depending on if you're making a blue 4 or op 4 is what you're depending on. But let's just go say we're doing a blue 4, which is what you play as in the mod, in the DUWS scenario. You play as blue 4. Op 4 is a different file type. I haven't worked on op 4 yet. I will be doing it soon. The guide that I followed, which I'll have links to both the picture guide and stuff, and the regular like text document guide in the link as well if you want to use them for anything for reference. You can use any one you want, doesn't matter. But this is the one that the guide suggested, not this one. My bad on that. It would be, this is the one that the guide suggested right here. blue_f_arid_blue4. Right, so I already have that one. Make sure you copy and paste it to your desktop. You click on it, right, and you're going to be having all of this. Do not touch anything. Don't touch anything yet, right? Do not touch a damn thing. Just have this open. You're going to be working in Notepad a lot with this. So just leave it as it is. This is your template folder. So you can minimize that. Another thing that you're going to need, or you don't need it, but it helps very, very much, and I suggest you do it. Do not do it the other way. Do it with this, okay? So what you can do is go back to browse items, subscribed items, alive. Look up specifically this on Steam. It'll pop up. It's called Alive. You're going to want to make sure you subscribe to this. The only requirement is the CBA, which pretty much every mod in this game requires the CBA. So make sure you subscribe to this. Once you've subscribed to that, okay, you're going to want to go make sure you're on your Arma page here. The Arma launcher. Make sure you go to mods and you check unalive. Make sure that is checked. Alive. Make sure alive is checked. Okay. Once you've done that, you want to go into Arma and launch Arma, right? Then you want to go to the Eden editor, which is where we're at right now. It's right there. You can see it. It should be on your main screen all the way to the right hand side, Eden editor, or if you go to single player and go all the way down, it should say editor, right? It's the same thing. What you're going to want to do here is you're gonna want to go to systems, alive modules, alive Orbat creator, right? Place that down. Then you want to go back Doesn't matter what guy you choose, just choose a guy, right? Put a guy right next to it. Highlight both of them. Just take your mouse, drag it over both of them, then click play. Okay, so this should be the screen that you pop up with. If you don't have this, then you need to make sure that you have both the soldier that you placed and the Orbat creator both highlighted together, and it should work. You go to unit editor, open, right? And whatever faction it is that you're trying to work on, you make sure you have your mods downloaded for it. Obviously, right? If you're wanting to do a Rhodesian faction, make sure you have the mods that are required to have a Rhodesian faction. Whatever faction it is, right? So I'll go down. Let's see. So yeah, the Zanla, right? We'll say you have the Zanla, which were enemies of the Rhodesians. So I click on that, and then I click import units from config. And this is going to give me every soldier and or vehicle, weapon, whatever it is, from this specific version of the Zanla faction. You see that? Now you can always go through and do multiple, but I'll show you how to do that in a second, right? So I'm on this faction. Boom, 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 boom. Look, I got all these guys from the Zanla, right? They're here. So what you're going to want to do is hit export, go to units, and then unit class names. It's going to copy this all to your clipboard, right? Then you can alt tab out. I want you to open up Notepad, right? And you just want to go ahead and paste. Boom, you have all of this. Look at this. So this is everything that was in there, right? Doesn't look like a whole lot, but this is what was in that file, right? It has every unit class name. These are very important, and I'll show you why. So now that you have your faction right here, right? You go into Blue 4 Aired. So from here you have Soldier X, right? These are your guys that are kind of like for your patrols, I guess would be a way to put it. Like these are your units that go on the patrols around in the game. So you have Soldier X, which is just a soldier. You could probably put anything you want here. So what you're going to want to do, and what I do, is, okay, cool. I can put, this is just your regular rifleman type of soldier. I'll highlight inside of the quotation marks. I don't do any of that. I don't highlight the whole thing, just inside of the quotation marks. Copy that. You want to go over here, delete that, and paste. Boom. And don't do any extra spaces. It may look kind of weird that it's off to the side more. It may be longer. It may be shorter. Some of the units, just leave it as it is. Do not do any spaces. Don't try to make sure they're lined up specifically. It'll do all that. Trust me. It's already formatted and set up. This is what you have, right? So then you just go down the line and do that, right? So you have your soldier LAT, right? So that would be, I'm guessing, light anti-tank, right? Do they have any kind of AT guys, right? Let's see. They may not have specifically like a guy that walks around as an AT, but here you go, AT gunner. So let's say, boom, copy, and go over here and paste. Boom, there you go. And you do this the whole way through. You find out that's grenade launcher. That's going to be a grenadier, the GL. TL would be like a task leader. SL would be squad leader. AR would be automatic rifleman. Marksman is a marksman. Officer is an officer. Heli pilot is a heli pilot. Right. Now, don't get confused here. Right. So those are all soldier. Those are all a troop type, like an actual troop, a soldier himself. Right. You have boat, armed. This is a boat. Right. This is a boat. So this you want to find a boat, and you can always cross-reference back in your Eden editor. You can look through here and be like, man, okay, I need a boat that's armed, right? Now, you have to get a little creative here because not every faction has a boat. Most of them don't seem to, it seems like. So if you need to go and look through, any other faction and see, do they have a boat? And they may not. So you may just have to use a modern-ish boat or try to find a boat online or something. but just try to find a boat, right, for that specific one. You just gotta get creative. You know, it's not everything's gonna be perfect, right? Not everything's perfect, so you do the best you can. Um, so I don't see any boats, right? So what I could do is go up to like, NATO or something, right? Blue 4 NATO, right? Let's see, import units from kit. Now sometimes these factions will make your shit lag, just because they're very big, um, which sucks. So just keep that in mind. So let's see if we can find a boat in here anywhere. Those are all specific dudes. Those are machine guns. Alright, so look, boom, speedboat minigun. So what I could do is just go ahead and do unit. Export units, selected units, right? And then I can go over, back, open up another notepad, hit paste, and what you're gonna see, this is the name right here. This one right here. This is the class name. You don't want to use the display name. That doesn't mean anything here. That's just what's displayed in the game. This is the class name, right? So copy, and then you go down to the boat, boop, 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 and you paste it. Alright, see, that's how that works. So just make sure you know what you're looking at, right? This is boat crew, so you could put a boat crewman, whatever that would be, if you want to do a rifleman, whatever it is, right? And then you have heli transport armed. That's what arm means. It's armed. It's an armed heli transport, right? So I'm like, man, I don't know. Let me go back to my Eden editor, right? So we can go back down to the Zanula. Which Zanula was I using? Alright, well, whatever. So try to find a helicopter. And if you can't use one of these, take one from somewhere else, like we said, right? It's not, if they don't have anything in there, well, then you just take it from somewhere else. Do the best you can. If you have to take it from South African, try to do your best to keep it within your faction, right? You don't want to just go willy-nilly and be like, all right, yeah, the Zanula from 1977 have a fucking M1 Abrams and a Apache. You're like, no, try to keep it the best you can. If you have to, go look around online on the Steam Workshop and try to find at least somewhat period accurate stuff, to make sure your faction's good. So that's kind of how that works. So yeah, you have heli transport armed, heli transport unarmed, you have a heli attack, a plane CAS, you have a car patrol. This is a patrolling unit. This patrols around, right? An APC patrol 1, APC patrol 2, and a tank patrol, right? So make sure you look through. It tells you pretty plain as day what you're looking at. Heli trans armed is not a soldier, it is a helicopter. That's a transport, and it's armed. It has weaponry on it, whether it be like some mounted machine guns on the side or whatever. Then you have your static weapons right here, boom, HQ and FOBs. This is your AA, this is your anti-air that goes on top of your base, your anti-tank, which is an anti-tank, and you have a high machine gun and a GMG, which I'm not sure what GMG means specifically. That could just be a low machine gun, but you get the gist, right? And you have your spec ops, which are guys that you can request in the game, right? So you can make these anybody that you want, but you're going to be requesting these guys. So Soldier X, right? It's just like a rifleman or something like that. So find the equivalent. Like when I did a Rhodesian faction, I found SAS guys, the Rhodesian SAS, and put them in here. Also, like Cella Scouts and stuff like that. They're special forces, right? So I put them in here. You don't have to change this if you don't want to. You can leave this exactly how it is. That's not a problem, and you can just customize the guys with your arsenal in game. But if you want them to already be time period accurate, you can do it like this. So, squad leader camo, I can make that. You do the same thing. Copy. Boom. You go in here, and then you paste it. Boom. There you go. Now he's going to be requested. Alright, so that's for special ops guys. Down here you're going to have your request for these are just regular units you request, right? So if you're looking in the menu, you'll see like, you know, request a unit, and you'll have like rifleman, medic, AT specialist, AA specialist, you know, all that stuff. These are these guys right here. Request unit. These are these guys. So as you can see, it's already got these lined up. So I didn't change sniper, marksman, engineer, all that. Those are display names, like what you're going to be calling in. So just leave that as it is. You don't want to go messing with that too much unless you already know what you're doing. So, you know, a rifleman. Okay, cool. And you want to leave these 2 CP and all this alone unless you want to change the value. Just make sure if you change the value, right, let's say that's a 4, make sure you do it in both places. Both need to be a 4, right? So just keep that in mind. So, boom, we're like, man, get rid of that guy. I don't want him. I want to change him out with another rifleman, right? This one with a boonie hat. Cool. Take him, copy him, and you paste them, just like you did before. Don't change shit. Just do what I just did, right? Now down here is your request for vehicles. Like, as you know, if you're in DUWS, you can request vehicles, right? And, you know, you can go through and change whatever you need to change. So let's see, a transport truck, for instance. This one right here. Cool. I can go through and delete that, right? And then I can put this URL in there if I want to. Copy and paste. Boom, now that's going to be in there. And then you remember your values, right? So let's say you don't want that to be 6 CP, you want it to be 4 CP. Just make sure you change both of those. That's it. Don't delete any commas, brackets, parentheses, quotations, semicolons. Do not delete any of that, right? Don't do that. Leave that alone. Unless you know what you're doing, leave that alone, right? So, and then you can change the name of it too, right? So I see that I want to change the name. This is fine. You can delete up to this. This is fine. And you just put a URL, right? Boom. That's fine. Leave that as it is. Do exactly as I've showed you. Cool. So let's say you do all that. You go through and you change the whole thing, right? Blah, 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 blah. You change it all. All right, so this first one is your faction identifier, right? So Zanla underscore blue, right? Because for Zanla for the blue. This is what's going to be displayed on the faction screen, right? So you can put Zanla 1977 if you want, right? Or just put Zanla Rhodesia if you want. You know, something like that. Whatever it is you want to do. This is whatever you name this up here, right? As you can see, they match. So you're going to want to change that to whatever. So let's say Zanla underscore blue, right? Same as that other one, right? You want to save as. You want to make sure those match, right? So you're going to want to do Zanla underscore blue, and then underscore that again. Make sure your blue 4 stays in front of it. Make sure if you're doing Aunt 4 or blue 4, doesn't matter. Make sure that stays. Make sure you have the underscore. Keep that there. You're gonna want to save it as all files on a text document, right? Save it. Boom. You can, now you're done. Let's say you've done everything. That's done. You know, blah blah blah. It's been saved. Now, how do you get it into your factions? With the new 3.0, the 3.01 thing, the update, you should be able to just go in here, right? Right. So if we do server, host a server, yeah. Okay. Right. Play on Altis. Yep. Sounds good. Alright, so you should be able to go down to custom faction, custom blue 4 faction, choose whatever you want your op to be, random HQ, whatever you want. Press escape, you should be able to take your faction, right? So you got it right here, right? You got your faction. Zanla, this is your faction, right? You should be able to take all of these, right? Take this whole thing. You could do Control A, Control Z, Control V if you want. This is just how I do it. Copy, exit out of that, go back to your game, and then Control V, right? And as long as it's a blue 4 faction, and it follows the blue 4 faction format, and you put it in blue 4 faction right up here, it should work. You know, provided you did everything correctly. You go through, make sure your parameters are what you want for the game, yada yada. Alright, cool. So we're in. So let's see. Look at that. Boom. Zanla guy right there. Rifleman with an AK-47. Zanla guy right there with the AK-47. Zanla guy on the fucking rocket, right? So this worked, right? So it's super simple to get them in the game now. It used to be a little more difficult, not super hard, but it was extra work, right? Let's see if we request a rifleman. Let's go see what he looks like, because I believe we changed this, the rifleman that we're dealing with. Doop 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 doop. Oh, that's a Zanla guy, right? He's the one with the boonie that we put in, as you can see. So yeah, it works. So yeah, that's the video. One thing I'll have to say is definitely make sure you double check your work. Make sure you do that. So if you're in your file, right? So if you're in your file, make sure you double check that your quotation marks are where they need to be. Your semicolons are where they need to be. You know, your underscores and stuff like that. Make sure your commas are where they need to be. I had an entire faction not load because it couldn't load the entire script because I was missing one quotation mark on my Rhodesian faction, and it took, you know, going through the logs and stuff and then sending it over to Kill a Tomato, the maker of the fucking mod, and he pointed it out to me. I fixed it. My faction worked perfectly fine after that. So make sure you double check your work. That's one thing you really need to do. But other than that, that's everything I have to show for this video. I hope it helps. If you need anything else or you have some more questions, leave a comment down below and I'll try to answer the best I can. Other than that, have a good day.